I'm Gabby. I'm from Utah State University Extension, and I am joined here by my colleagues Anna and Stephanie. And in this video, we're going to demonstrate a full body stretch routine from head to toe. And we're going to demonstrate 3 different ways of doing this. So I'm going to show you dynamic stretches, which is where you move throughout the stretches and you hold it for about less than 30 seconds, so maybe about a couple of seconds each time. Anna is going to demonstrate a static version of each stretch where you hold it for maybe around 30 seconds or more if you would like to. And then Stephanie is going to demonstrate a variety of these stretches, but sitting in a chair. So you can kind of see and get an idea of the different versions, the different ways of doing all of these different stretches. So this first stretch that we're going to do are called neck moons. So you bring your head down and you just rotate from side to side. Now, if you're doing this as a static version, you're just going to hold over your ear and look over your ear for a couple of seconds and then move over to the other side. And we're going to do 2 more. Okay, and then bring your head down and then look up again. This next stretch is called YTW. Now we're all going to do it the same way because there really is no static version of this. So you bring your arms up for a Y, bring them all the way down to your sides, out for a T. You want to feel that stretch in your bicep, down to your sides, and up for a W, where you feel kind of you squeeze your shoulders together, your shoulder blades. Okay, let's do it again. Y, down to your sides, out for a T, feel it in your biceps, and up for a W, squeeze your shoulder blades. Okay, last time, Y, T, W. Okay, now another version of this that you can do is called a scissor stretch, where you're basically just going to move your arms in front of you and you're going to alternate which arm is up at the top. So let's do about 3, 2, 1, and go ahead and stop. Okay. For this next stretch, we're calling it shoulder gators. You put your hands behind your head very softly. Okay, you're not gripping any part of your ears or your head, but you're basically touching your elbows together. So that was 2, 3, 4, 5, last one, 6. Okay, and then bring them down. Now a static version of this stretch is where you bring your arm across your body. So we're going to start out, bring your arm across your body and hold it. And you can hold your arm either by your forearm or at your shoulder. Okay. All right, so we're holding this for 3, 2, 1. Now bring your arms down and cross to the other side. Doing for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. This next stretch is called the wrist flexion and extension. So we're going to bring our left hand in front of us, and you want to feel a stretch in your forearm. So we're going to hold this for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then bring your hand down and push or pull. So for 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's switch hands. Up for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then bring it down for 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, this next stretch is the overhead reach with the side bend. I'm going to show a dynamic version where I move from side to side, and they're going to show the static version where they're going to hold it on one side for a few seconds and then switch to the other side. So you bring your arms overhead and you go to one side and they're going to hold their position, and I'm just going to move from side to side. So that was 2, 3, 4. This next stretch is called the tricep stretch. I'm going to be showing a dynamic version where I will be alternating a little more often, and they're going to be showing the static version where they're going to hold the stretch for a couple of seconds on each side. Okay, so you bring your arm overhead, okay, behind you, as far as is comfortable to where your head is still pointing forward. Do not let your neck pull down. Okay, you're going to hold the stretch. And if you're doing it dynamically, you're just going to move through the stretch for a couple of seconds and then switch. So that was 2. This is 3. And that's 4. This next stretch are called lateral hip openers. These are for your inner thighs. Now the dynamic version of this, I'm going to be moving throughout this, whereas Anna, doing the static version, is going to be holding it on one side for a couple of seconds and then switching. And then a seated version, Stephanie is going to do what's called a clamshell. So that's a seated version of this. Now dynamic version, you're going to have a wide stance. And you're just going to move from side to side. You're gliding from side to side. As a static version, you're just going to hold it on one side. So go ahead and hold, and you can stay like that, okay? While I'm doing from side to side. And then Stephanie, for the clamshell version, she's going to sit on the edge of her chair toward the front. She's going to have her legs kind of separated out wide, and she's going to hinge forward at the hips with her gaze kind of neutral, so her neck stays in line with her back, and her back is going to be straight, okay? And that's what she's going to hold until she feels a stretch in her inner thighs. So I'm going to demonstrate the dynamic version, and we're all just going to demonstrate our different versions that we're doing, okay? So we're going to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and there you go.
Take 3.
Okay. This next stretch is the quadricep stretch. I'll be showing the dynamic version where I'll be alternating legs a little more often. Anne is going to be showing the static version, which is kind of the more standard version where she's holding the stretch on each leg. And she's also going to use a chair for balance. So you could use a chair or a wall or anything to help you if you don't have good balance. And then Stephanie's going to show you how to do a quad stretch while sitting in a chair. Okay, so we're just going to show you a couple of these. So we're going to start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this next stretch is called knees to chest. In the dynamic version, I'm just going to be alternating and bringing my legs or my knees up to my chest. Anne is going to show you the static version where she's just going to have one leg crossed over her other one and then turn to the side. And then in her chair, Stephanie is going to sit in the back of her chair and use the back of the chair to hold herself and kind of, you know, where she's twisting her lower back. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. This next stretch are called hurdle steps. I'm going to show you the dynamic version. Anna is going to do the static version, which is a standard butterfly stretch. And then Stephanie in the chair is going to follow me and show you the dynamic version while sitting in her chair. Okay, so we're going to start off on our left with our left leg. You bring your left leg up and out to the side, and then bring it back in. So that was 1. Let's go for 2 on the other side. Okay, that was 3, 4, 5, last one, 6. This next stretch is the calf stretch. I'm going to turn around for this so you can see how I'm switching from side to side. Anna's going to show the static version of this, where she's going to basically have one foot back, flat, and then she's going to do a forward lunge until she feels a stretch in her back calf. And then Stephanie is going to do one sitting in a chair where she's going to bring her foot, one leg forward and point her toe up until she feels a stretch in her calf. So I'm going to turn around for this, and we're all going to just do a couple of these. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This next stretch is called the figure 4 stretch. In the dynamic version, I'll show you how to switch from side to side. Anna will show the static version where you can do it while lying on a floor on your back. The big thing to remember is while you're doing this, you want to have your head on the floor. You don't want to crunch up. And then Stephanie is going to show it while she's sitting in a chair in a stable spot in her chair, and she's going to cross one leg over her other thigh, and then feel the stretch that way. And if you want to feel a deeper stretch in that position, you can hinge forward a little bit until you feel a stretch kind of in that outer part of your leg. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and start. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. This next stretch is the hamstring stretch. In the dynamic version, I'm going to switch from side to side. Anna, showing the static version, is going to hold it on each side. And then Stephanie in the chair is going to be sitting toward the edge, to the front edge of her chair, so that she can extend her leg forward and then hinge forward at the hips until she feels a stretch in her hamstring. So when we do this, we're going to start on our left leg. You're going to have one leg forward with your toe pointed up, heel down flat on the ground. And in the static version, Anna's just going to hold it, and so is Stephanie. And I'm going to move in the dynamic version, just switching from side to side. That was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This next stretch is the ankle flexion and extension. So in the dynamic version, I'm going to do toe taps. And then in the static version, Anna's going to show, going to basically do the same thing, but a lot slower. And then Stephanie is going to be following me and doing the toe taps while she's sitting in her chair. So we're going to start off with our left foot and start off with our toe. So toe down, and then heel, toe, heel. Let's switch. Heel or toe, heel, toe, heel.